We are. Yes, and we are live. Hey,
we're live.
we're looking right here. See that light right there, Captain?
That's
so
that light.
that light right there is where we got to look at everybody as we talk to everybody.
Okay.
Welcome everybody to All for Sci-Fi.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
This is our weekly webcast. We're coming live to you from Woodland Hills, California, and today is Saturday. I know it. You're not going to trip me up, Captain Rickster. I'm not going to fall into your messing me up. No, you're not. Today is Saturday, July 10th, 2021, and COVID's finally almost over. Yeah, baby. Yeah, hopefully soon, right?
Yes, yes.
Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody how your week went, Captain Rickster, while I let everybody on social media know that we are live right now. And look over at that light.
Hello, light. How you doing? Oh, everything was great this week. We had a great time. We had a lot of good fun. Short week, which was nice. I liked it. Holiday was great. Didn't do anything, but it was still great, which is nice. I like having rest when I don't have to really do a whole lot.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. We had a great week. We had a good week in business this week.
Yeah, it was a pretty good week. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
We see some people. One person's already joined us, so whoever you are, say hello to us.
Hello. Hello. Hope you're doing okay. What else this week? Oh, well, I did watch Black Widow. That was actually good. We'll talk about that later.
Yes. Yeah, this week, the three shows, we're going to talk. Today, we're going to review Marvel's Black Widow.
Yep.
With Scarlett Johansson. And we're also going to talk about Loki.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, the latest episode. We're one episode away from the finale. Yeah. And we're also going to talk about The Bad Batch, the latest episode as well. Or should I call it Star Wars Rebels?
Yeah, Star Wars Rebels more like than anything else, yes.
Yeah, so, what you were talking earlier to me about some movies that are coming up.
Oh, yes, we got the Eternals. They're now they're coming out in November of this year, which is really good.
Right.
We got Shanghai on the 10 Rings.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Let's go ahead and let them let's go ahead and talk about it. Yeah. Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings. That's coming in September.
That's coming in September. There's either another movie or a TV show. I'm not really sure. I caught it on when I was seeing the previews. I can't remember what name it is. It's coming out in August. I think it's
August.
I think it's a new TV show coming out in August.
Well,
after Loki's over with.
Well, if Mike was here, he would be telling us for sure what's going
Mike
on.
Will be here.
I know he is. We just got to let everybody know we're on.
Yeah. We're
on
live
social media.
Now. But no, it's been humid and hot here, which is not really all that great.
No, it feels like Vietnam.
Oh, feels like something. They've definitely got a lot of humidity in the air this weekend. And it's going to be hot. It's supposed to start cooling down after Monday. Yay.
Yeah.
Not wintertime, though. Unfortunately, we still got another maybe 2.5 more months left of summer before winter even thinks about coming this way.
Yeah.
And cooling everything right down. And hopefully we'll get rain this year since we're suffering right now with a lack of water all around.
Right.
So now we're doing water rationing, which is not good.
Well, they're asking us to do a little bit of rationing.
It's voluntarily.
Right.
It's all voluntarily.
Yeah. So to go back to what Captain Rickster was talking about earlier, he mentioned we have the Eternals coming out, and the Eternals is coming out November 5th.
Okay.
So everybody knows that the actual release date is November 5th,
cool.
And Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings, the actual release date of that is September 3rd.
Oh,
that's not too far away. That's just kind of right around the corner.
Oh, Fantastic Beasts #3 is coming out in 2022.
Well, they keep moving things around.
Well, it's COVID. Somehow
true.
they had to close the set down again because they got COVID.
Well,
which I didn't think was great.
Well, keeping on, Fantastic Beasts, I can't wait to see that as well. It's being directed by David Yates again, and he's directed a lot of the majority he even directed not all of them, but a lot of the Harry Potters.
Yep.
He started directing a Harry Potter series. I believe it was on Order of the Phoenix. That's correct.
Number 5.
Or was Half-Blood Prince before that or after?
No.
Was that after? Okay, yeah. So it was Order of the Phoenix he started directing because apparently the writer had a problem with the original director or something. You were telling me. I learned something new.
And they fired the original director because she was so pissed off that she wanted to remake it because they left out the first.
What was the one?
The book.
It was the one before that though. I don't remember what it was. Hey, Virginia's here.
Hi, Virginia.
Hi, Virginia. How you doing? So, yep.
Hey.
And Artho Darth Sidious is here. Hey, welcome, Darth Sidious. Yeah.
Hey, say happy birthday to Devaney for us.
Oh yeah, I wanted everybody here at All for Sci-Fi. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Devaney! Happy birthday, in case you're watching. So, and Jim is here as well.
Hi,
he
Jim.
says hi. Back from a few weeks to the national parks. Great.
Good.
What national parks did you go to, Jim? Okay. Going back on the news about we're talking about the Marvel universe. In case you joined us late, Captain Rickster was talking about how the Eternals is coming out November 5th. Shang-Chi and the 10 Rings is coming out September 3rd.
Right.
Spider-Man No Way Home is coming out December 17th, which is actually my wife's. No, not my wife's. My wife's birthday. Oh, actually, my cousin's birthday. Actually, who I talked about a few weeks ago. My favorite cousin.
Yep.
So, yeah. So, and also Hawkeye, the teaser trailer was, and also they did a little at the end of Black Widow, which we're going to discuss. They did a thing about Hawkeye, and it almost didn't get released. It got pushed back, which we're going to talk about too. Mrs. Marvel, also waiting for that to come out.
Yep.
Other Marvel Universe movies, we got in 2022, we got Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness coming out March 25th, and Thor: Love and Thunder. Gotta love Love and Thunder's coming out May 6th, but that's not until next year.
Right.
But now we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of movies coming out, and Virginia just mentioned, of course, that the Jungle Cruise is coming out July 31st. Thank you very much for mentioning that. Stan Solo is here. Hey, Stan, how are you doing?
Hey, Stan.
Want to say hi to him. And yeah, got some real exciting. It's an exciting week. We got a lot to talk about.
Every week's exciting. Just put you
it feels like it nowadays, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. Doesn't it? It's summer. COVID's almost over, and we got good movies coming out right now. We have great TV shows on right now.
That's right. On Disney Plus, Stan Solo just mentioned it. They released Monsters at Work.
Oh yeah.
So they had Monsters at Work this week. Loki, The Bad Batch, Black Widow. Oh, the Loki version of The Simpsons thing came out too. Wow, you're right. It's been a great week for Disney Plus, right? It has. It sure has. And one of the rumors I was reading, and I hope it's true, guys. I hear that Michael Dorn and Worf might be getting their own Star Trek series.
Oh, cool.
So you know how like Picard has Picard. It's in the rumor mill, so I don't know if it's 100% accurate, but wouldn't it be great if Worf got a new Star Trek series? Worf is one of my favorite characters.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
From Star Trek. So I think that would be great. And I heard that in the rumor mill, so I wanted to mention that. So this week we got Black Widow. We'll talk about that. We're going to review that. And Bad Batch. And what's this week's prize? You have it here, Captain Rickster. Here it is. Show everybody. This week's prize is. That's good. That's perfect.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah. This week's prize is from Star Wars Rogue One.
Yep.
It is a Stormtrooper. Wow. Beautiful one. It even has the pads up here.
Yep.
Extra pads, a gun, everything. So it's pretty cool. So this is this week's giveaway for. If you were going to ask the question at the end of the show, all you had to do was watch. It may be something we discussed, so you already know the answer because we gave it to you.
Yep.
And the first 5 people that say it correctly on our screen, we'll write your name down and draw your name out of Captain Rickster's lucky hat.
That's right, yeah, lucky. Yeah.
And that's what some people are. Mike has been lucky.
Mike's been the luckiest one so far.
And also just to let everybody know, a quick announcement. We got really busy at work this week, but we will be getting last week's prize along with this one next week.
Yeah.
And Mike, I actually got a really nice, I don't know if you're here yet, but maybe you'll watch this on playback, but we got a really nice Osaka a painting from you in Albuquerque, but I got one of those. What do they call them when you put them inside those binders?
Top loader.
Top loader. So to protect it.
Yes.
And so we got a top loader. So when we mail it, it should come in good shape. But that will be going out for sure early next week, along with this week's winner. So we just got a little behind. I apologize for that.
Busy at work this week too,
so I do apologize for that. But we're gonna, Stan is saying, a Wharf series would be great.
Oh yeah.
So also Virginia mentioned that Disney finally brought back The Sandlot.
Oh, good.
It's so you can, and she's right, on Disney Plus they brought back The Sandlot, so you could actually watch it on Disney. That's great.
Actually a good.
It is a good movie.
Yes, I enjoyed that one.
So let's talk about let's go ahead and talk about the big show, the big movie this week.
One of the things you do too. Your CD. His music is going to come out here soon.
Oh, that's right, Friday,
and it is awesome.
Oh, thank you, Captain Richter.
People need to hear it and buy it. Not have to really buy it. So you download it from iTunes, right?
It's going to be I have a full album coming out. It's my first album that I've ever released that had a singer. Yeah. The entire time. So it has 10 songs.
10 songs on it.
So 10 new tracks from me, and with all vocals.
Yep.
And it's my first time doing a vocal album with lyrics and everything, because all my other 3 albums were great listening, the instrumental albums, but this is my first album. The album's coming out Friday.
Right.
And it will be on iTunes. It'll be on Spotify. It'll be on Google Plus. The name of the album is called Take You Higher.
Yep.
And it's based on the last single we just released. And it features ACM, which is a concept. Yep. ACM stands for Alpha Centauri Man. And Alpha Centauri Man, he comes from the planet Centaurus. He comes from the future. And that album will have Dare to Dream on it as well. Yep. That's one of the tracks that is going to be released on it. But it basically, we came up with this concept about this Alpha Centauri Man. He's from the future, and he meant to come back. He was watching Ewoks: A Battle for Endor, and he saw Mace die, or he thought he died, and he wanted to come back to make sure he was okay. So he came back. He came from the future, and instead of coming back to 1985, he came back to 2021, and he found Mace. Now here I am, and we decided to do music together. So that's the whole concept. There's 10 tracks on it. Yes. And Stan, you asked, is Dare to Dream going to be on it?
Yes, it is.
Yes, Dare to Dream is the 10th track on the album, but it's got 9 other songs. It's got Take You Higher, Just for You. The next single. Is called Hump Day. And Captain Richter and some other people do background vocals.
That's right.
So
it's so awesome.
That song Hump Day is going to get you up and dancing.
Oh, no kidding.
It's about, of course, Wednesday.
Definitely about Wednesday.
So it's going to be an interesting track. That's the next music video that's coming out, and that's the next single off the album. But it's coming out this Friday. So thank you for bringing it up. I almost forgot about it.
And we're also going to do a little mini tour in September. In Europe, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
Captain Richter. Dare to Dream and Take You Higher have been released over in Europe already, and it's getting a lot of airplay in Italy, France, and Greece, and it's doing pretty well. So we're talking about doing a mini tour of Europe in September. I would love to tour here in America if Hump Day somehow goes viral or gets played a lot, because that's a really fun dance. It's a stupid song, Hump Day.
It's really stupid,
but it's
funny,
it's kind of like that Korean song Gangnam Style. It's silly and stupid, has a great beat. It's about Hump Day, and it's got my funkiness in it, so it's a little bit different.
You gotta be able to pump up that volume.
And so hopefully we'll see what happens with that. It's like that. I remember that song they had years ago. What did the fox say, or whatever they call it?
Yeah.
So it's got that capability, and hopefully you guys will share the music video when we get Hump Day out. So we'll see what happens.
It's really great, and it's fun. It really gets you up there moving. To the groove.
Yep. They're asking. Jim's daughter's asking if the Magic Hand Dance will be on the album.
No, not yet. That's probably the next.
Maybe
album.
on the next album.
Maybe
Who
on the next
knows?
one.
Maybe
We'll
we'll
see.
have ACM do it. He's got a better voice than me anyway.
Oh, that's me too.
So have ACM sing it. So so I'll have a preview probably come out on Monday or Tuesday, which will, if you listen to the preview, you could hear like a minute of each song on the album before you buy it. But of course, they do that anyway. But before the album comes out, I want everybody to be able to preview each track. So I'm going to release a preview of each track and talk about how we wrote the songs. Because I think people are interested about how songs are written.
Oh, yes, they are.
And I like doing that. I like doing like a preview of the album and discuss how we wrote it, how it came about, stuff like that. So
and how much fun we had on it.
Right. That is so great, Jim, that you caught her singing the Magic Hand Dance the other day.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's not. Yeah. The collector's edition will have the Magic Hand Dance on it. That's funny. Okay, let's talk about Black Widow, guys. Enough about. But yeah, please check out Take You Higher next Friday.
Yes.
Black Widow.
It is really good.
As you know, at All for Sci-Fi, we have a rating system of 0 to 5 stars, 5 stars being the best. If it's 3 stars or less, we don't recommend it. We don't recommend you stream it. In this case, you could go to the movie theaters if they're open, or you could stream it on Disney Plus if you want to shell out $30.
Right. Plus, if you have a big enough TV, it'd be great. But if you have a small TV,
well, go see it in a movie theater if your movie theaters are open.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
It's best to see it in a movie theater anyway.
Anything with special effects like this, for sure.
Great special effects.
So I don't. At the beginning, okay, let's do the rating before I get into my opinion.
Our opinion.
When your opinion as well, sure. Guys.
Yeah.
The All for Sci-Fi official rating of Black Widow, it redeemed itself to me by the end of the movie.
Yes.
So I'm going to raise my original thought on it. So I'm going to go ahead and give Black Widow 4.5 stars. What do you give it?
I'm going to go a little higher. I'm going to give it a 4.75. Not because I'm a Marvel fan or a Black Widow fan, but I think everything was great. I mean, the script was good.
I'm not saying it all wasn't good.
Music is good. Not much action in it. I wouldn't give it a 5 because there wasn't much action in it. But it was still great.
At the end there was. That was what was good. Yeah.
And there's 2
girls
parts,
kicking butt.
There's 2 parts of the ending in this movie, which I loved. And I thought was great. And left it wide open for the next one.
Yeah. It did. It did. It did.
Yes.
Right.
Really, I think I'm going to watch it again when I go home tonight.
Right. Stan's, well, actually, Jim said let Captain Rickster do it first. But no, thanks, Jim. But we're going to keep it the same way and see what happens.
He liked it better than I do.
And Stan says he agrees with me. He agrees it's a 4.5 stars, not 4.75.
I don't believe everybody's going to agree with me. So, hey, my opinion.
We all have noses. I wasn't going to say the other word because it's a PG show. But we all have different noses, right?
Yeah,
so we all have opinions.
We all different opinions.
That's a nicer way of saying it rather than the latter.
Yeah, I know. It's a kid show.
It is. Let's be PG. But I almost Captain Rickster was going to give it higher than 4.5 stars. But the way this movie started was a little slow for me.
It was slow at first.
Yeah.
And it got kind of a little bit of boring.
Yes, it did.
In somewhere near the middle. But what I liked about it, the music was good.
The music was astounding.
I loved the director who directed this.
Right.
She was great in directing in this movie.
Oh, everything about this movie is great. But we waited. They had this movie was on the shelf for so long that the person who played the little Black Widow probably is an adult by now.
Of course, yes.
Because she was a young girl then, and they always filmed stuff a couple of years ahead of time. Then it was held. So those scenes were probably filmed 5 or 6 years ago. Literally. So that teenager who played the younger preteen Black Widow is probably an adult now.
And she's probably
she was a preteen or something like that.
She's an adult
but so it's my problem. Actually, I like the fact that we did get to see a little bit about their story. We got to learn who they were, who Natasha was,
or is, and how she became what she was.
Right. That part, and I liked all of it. And I love the humor in it too. Like Stan, you just said, I love the humor in it.
Yep,
and it was good. I especially when later in it where she's telling when she's trying to beat the guy up and the pheromones thing happened.
Oh yeah.
And she can't attack him, but he's beating her up. And she's saying, "Oh, you like to beat up girls, right? Because that's all you could beat up. You're not a man," type of thing. I thought that was funny because I was thinking the same thing, and then she said it.
Yeah, I know. Huh? Yeah.
But at first, and this may not be politically correct to say, but at first I said to myself, "You have all these women in it, and there's no men in it, and all these women are tough and they're beating everybody out, but." And it almost like, is this going to be like a Mary Sue thing? And I'm not for that. I believe that we need to have movies that have strong women characters. I agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
But the movie story wise really redeemed itself by the end of the movie when we found out that what he was doing was, and it was very sad. I almost cried. We found out that he's just taking children, girls that are discarded as trash.
Mm-hmm.
That really upset me. Actually, I almost got emotional about it, and I was happy to see that she finally killed that bastard.
Oh yeah.
And then we got Taskmaster.
Taskmaster. Yeah.
Yes.
Which is actually his daughter.
Right.
Who Natasha actually blew up in the thing trying to kill her father, which didn't happen. So they put her back together, pretty much.
And right, Stan was talking about the pose thing.
Oh yeah.
And it went on, and even Taskmaster did the pose too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was funny.
When that whole pose thing was, I mean, the humor was great. It really redeemed itself. It's a good movie.
Humor. Yeah, it has some good humor in it. Yeah.
I'm sad we had to wait so long to see the movie.
I know. But I like the ending where he finally came up with something good.
Right.
Not that beautiful chopper he got.
Yes.
Or he got her something. Oh, that the place that she got a generator and that little camera she was
right.
thing and went out of lights and all that stuff. Finally got the Avengers jet.
Yes. I love the way the movie ended. It really redeemed itself. It was almost, at first, I almost was going to give it a 4, but the movie redeemed itself.
Yeah.
At the end, and you know what? I think I would like to see that movie again.
I'm
Black Widow, because I'm sure there's stuff we missed.
Of course there is.
And hey, Nathan's here. Hi, Nathan.
Hi, Nathan.
How you doing? Thank you for joining us. By the way, today's prize. Every week we give a prize. All you have to do is watch our show, and every week we have a free giveaway. And this is this week's free giveaway. Yep. It is a Stormtrooper from Rogue One. And it's one of my favorite ones because it's got these extra pads here. Extra accessories and pads. Yep. So this is what we, at the end of the show, we're going to ask a question about something we discussed on the show. If you get the answer correctly, you could win this. If 5 people answer it correctly, the first 5 people that appear only on our screen, not yours, our screen, the first 5 people that have the correct answer, we write your name down and we draw it out of Captain Rickster's hat, his lucky hat, some people call it. Yep. So here's your chance maybe to win a free prize. We do this every week. Yep. So let all your friends know on Facebook and everywhere else in social media. Let them know just by watching the show and having fun with us and discussing what we all love, sci-fi movies and TV shows. You could win a free. And that the other thing too, before I get to Black Widow, in August. And I didn't bring this up earlier, we're going to have Joseph Madden on our show. Yep. We like to support local writers, right. People that write sci-fi novels. And Joseph Madden is written the Starhawk Chronicles. And we're telling everybody to go out and go find Joseph Madden and get the book before we have him on the show. So if you have any questions you want to ask Joseph, because he has 3 novels out already.
And they're good.
So we want to support.
I've read all 3 of them. If you like fantasy, these are page turners. They'll keep you on your seat and make sure you don't want to miss anything when you read these things. Don't be skipping pages because it's not something you would skip. Right. So we're going to have Joseph on in August. So please go and check him out and get his book beforehand in case you have any questions. Darth Sidious had a good question. He says, "Do you feel the delayed release diminish the overall interest in the movie, or was it the movie still strong enough?" That's his concern about Dune as well being pushed back. I think it did. I believe it did.
I think it did.
I think it really did because they were expecting more money out of this blockbuster, and when COVID hit, it kind of killed everything.
That's not why I think
but
it did.
not all of it.
He's thinking money-wise.
I think money, but I'm also thinking delay times too, because people really wanted to see it at that time.
Right.
And then people got sad when they had changed it.
Wanted to see it really bad. I remember.
No, actually, they changed it 4 different times before it was actually come out.
Years. It was delayed years. Yeah. Not just 1 year. The next year. It was supposed to be out in early 2020. Early. So over a year and something. So many months. So yeah, I think it did. I think it did.
I believe Dune's going to be the same way.
No, I do not.
I do.
I think Dune is going to still blow us all away. I really think that the person who's doing Dune is doing it right. But
that's mind blowing, by the way, too.
And even Stans is commenting on what Darth said. He said he thinks Marvel lost a bit of its stream in theaters. They were going full steam ahead of the COVID hit. Yeah, I again, my opinion is I think it did change the way I felt about it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I probably would have liked it more had I had seen it sooner.
Right.
Because it did build my expectations up to like, boy, they got a lot of time for this. They better really hit it out of the ballpark, right?
Yeah,
like you're saying.
True, yeah.
So, but I don't. Captain Richter think it's going to happen with Dune, but I don't think so. I think I've seen some scenes from Dune, and it looks good. It looks much better than even Black Widow.
It is really good, but I'm just saying the self-esteem on that movie was supposed to be earlier than what it is, and they set it back so many times.
Right.
Now they finally got a date, but will people still be that interested in it? Since it has been moved so many times. It's just like Black Widow.
We'll see.
A lot of people lost interest in it because they kept moving it.
Yeah.
To show it, and that's how Marvel and got kind of defeated in that part when they were going full steam ahead before COVID hit.
Okay, so basically we got to learn a lot more about Natasha and the family and her dynamic and how they were a sleeper cell that were, put in here in America by the Russian agency, and then later, of course, he has the Red Room and how he's creating all these girls. He's taken from little girls and she turned them into killers.
Yep.
Including her sister, and her sister's not really her sister, but they think they're family, because they were in that sleeper cell together.
They were agents,
right? They weren't; they were kids, but they were planted with their parents,
which are really not parents either, because
they're not.
No, they're not even married because they're two different ones.
They did like each other though.
One's a scientist and one's muscle.
Yeah, one was the only Russian super soldier. And I thought that guy did a great job too. Is that character?
Oh, yeah.
He was funny.
Yeah, he was definitely funny.
Yeah. So and so we learned that, and they end up getting back. She goes and finds her sister. Her and her sister go in, and then they get attacked. They try to kill the sister and her, and then they go to break the father out of prison. Then they go to the mother.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah, the prison scenes were funny.
I like it when he was doing the
arm wrestling, and then he broke the guy's
arm, and he was going like a piece of rubber.
Yeah.
So crying.
Yeah, so those scenes were good. And then they went from that to go. Then he said, your mom was part of the Red Room thing, so she knows that guy better than everybody. And so all the revelations were great. The acting was great. Scarlett Johansson did a great job.
She did, yeah.
Rachel Weisz did a great job. Again, like Captain Richter said, the music was good. The directing was good.
Yep.
The photography was. The special effects were great. They were right on par. Kevin Feige, good job.
Yep.
Great job.
He was the producer of it.
Yep.
And so was Scarlett Johansson. She was an executive producer.
Well,
also.
Scarlett Johansson was the executive producer, and you wonder if they gave her the title.
Yeah, I wonder.
Instead of giving her more money.
True, yeah. That's true, yeah.
But good for her. Whether she just given it or not, she probably was just giving it.
Probably giving it, yeah.
Yeah. So.
She probably invested some money into this thing.
Yeah.
So she's doing all the Avenger ones.
Yeah, you're right. This was supposed to come out before WandaVision.
Yeah, way before WandaVision.
So basically, they go to the mother. Then they think they make it look like in the movie that the mother turned her back on them. But then we find out that they came up with this plan, and they were using masks to disguise themselves. So they get to the Red Room. Then Scarlett's there with I can't remember the guy's name. The lead character. That's what was that guy's name? The guy that's the owner of the Red Room. said his name over and over and over.
Oh,
Maybe
yeah.
someone could say his name.
Yeah, maybe I can't remember at the moment.
Anyway, she goes to she wants to kill him.
Oh yeah.
And she thought she killed him before, and she thought she killed him and his daughter.
Yeah.
And she was very upset about it. And
that didn't happen.
No.
After her sister told her they were still alive.
Right.
And she was working for him.
Right.
Until she got that red mist in her face, and then she cut the chip out of her leg. We couldn't find her.
Right. So let me see. I'm trying to find the name of that character. David Harbour.
It's older gentleman.
Just hold on a second. No, it's not it. Because that's Alexi. No, that's not it. Just hold on.
Oh, okay.
It might be.
There.
Oh, Ray, played by Ray Winstone.
Yeah, Ray Winstone.
Dreykov is his name. There you go. So what Dreykov did was Dreykov put this pheromone so all his widows, and that's what they call them. They call them widows.
Mm-hmm.
That they can't attack him. So he has this pheromone agent.
Right.
And so but her mother, who's a scientist who developed it, taught her if she severed the nerve, then she can't. It gets rid of the pheromone.
So she had to break her nose to do it.
Yeah, she had to sever the nerve and break her nose.
Break her nose at the same
which
time.
Was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Yeah, she was hurting though.
I'll bet she was. So they end up doing that. The place the mother actually takes the thing and breaks the Red Room. By the way, the reason why they were able to hide was because it was like on Star Wars, they had the City in the Clouds. Mm-hmm. On Empire Strikes Back, where Lando Calrissian was Bespin on Bespin. The City of the Clouds. The Red Room was in the clouds, mm-hmm. So it makes you wonder if they got the idea from Star Wars, right?
Yeah, that's a good question.
But and that's why he's been able to stay, under the radar or over the radar,
yeah.
so to speak, because they're in the clouds. So she basically takes out one of the engines, so it has to make an emergency landing. They all, great scenes. Some of the best scenes came up later, and that's why I raised my original rating from 4 to 4.5. Was the last part of the movie. It was really exciting.
Oh yeah, it was.
All the action where they're flying through the sky and they jump off and her sister goes and her sister ends up killing Dreykov and all of them.
Yeah.
And she does something with the engine before they take off, and they start to take off and they explode, mm-hmm. and she gets knocked away and she says goodbye to Natasha. And her sister wants to save her, so she grabs a parachute and jumps off after her. But all those scenes with her going down towards the earth, and then at one point she puts the parachute on her sister and pulls the cord because the Taskmaster is coming at her.
Yeah.
So she's the fight between them in the sky, and they're like flying and landing on parts of the Red Room ship. That was just amazing.
Oh, yeah,
that whole sequence was incredible.
And then she pulls the chute, and the boat comes crashing down.
Crashing down, right? Yeah, and then she quickly is fighting her, and then apparently they developed that thing you talked about, which is the red mist thing. If they pop it and the mist goes on them, then they're no longer under their control.
Right.
The widows.
They're back to normal,
so she does that, and then the girl stops fighting her, mm-hmm. but she could have took her on.
Oh yeah.
Natasha's one bad fighter, man.
Oh, yeah. She's one. You know what?
She is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Really good in this role too, and still sexy as all come up. Yeah.
I love it when she changes her hair color. She cuts it, and she got blonde hair. That's cool.
At the end. At the end, when she comes back and her friend has one of the jets from the Avengers, he pulls it off. So
after he wakes him up, she's there snoring on the ground, sleeping, waiting for her.
So the movie basically ends at that point, and she takes off in a jet, and then the credits roll, and at the end, after the credits are done, there's an end credit scene. Right. We get one with all the Marvel stuff.
Well, lately we have. Not all of them. Lately, the last couple of ones we've gotten the last end credit scenes.
Well, we always did in the Marvel movies, and this is a Marvel movie. So at the end, we see Valentina, played by the girl from Seinfeld.
Seinfeld, yeah.
Yeah, and wow, she's doing. And she has she joins Natasha's sister we see her at Natasha's grave. Apparently she's dead. This is in the future. And she's there, saying, doing something, maybe saying something to her dead sister. And Valentina shows up. She goes, I'm on vacation. Don't you know not to bother me? I'm going to charge you more money. And she goes, I have another person for you to kill. And the person she's going to give her to kill is...
I don't remember that part. Who?
Come on, dude. You don't remember who it was? Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Kill Hawkeye. That's right. Yeah.
Jeremy Renner. So what's going on with Hawkeye? That show was supposed to come out before all this other stuff, and it got put on hold because Jeremy was having problems, personal problems.
Personal problems, yeah.
And it makes you wonder why are they going to kill his character off just to move on from that?
I hope not.
I hope not. I'd like to see a Hawkeye.
I would too.
Series.
Hawkeye series. He's great comic books by himself.
He is, but he's supposed to train like one of his children or something like that. I think as well. So we might get a female version of Hawkeye.
Yeah, Hawkeye.
Hot girl.
Hawkeye.
Almost sounds like you said hot girl.
Hot girl. Actually, the hot girl, all right, but no, it's hot girl.
Is it hot girl in the comics?
In the comics, yes.
Really?
Actually, hot girl is actually DC. So.
Well, it's not her.
So they can't copy that part.
No.
They have to give her a different name.
Did his children take over? Were they still called Hawkeye, or what happened?
No, the daughter did take over, but she changed her name. But I can't.
What was her name?
I don't remember.
I'm sure it wasn't Hot Girl.
No, that wasn't her.
Or Hawk Girl. You sound like you said.
She had a different name.
Captain Richter.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
She does not have her own comic book series yet. I'm surprised.
She didn't?
Not yet. She hasn't had her own series yet. Her dad still has a series comes out every so often.
Okay.
About Daddy, but not so much.
But Hawkeye, right?
But Hawkeye comes out, yeah.
Okay, so that's it. That's all for Black Widow. Great job. Go see Black Widow. Yes. We also told everybody, and I forgot to even mention this, we got to do a review of the Tomorrow War.
Oh, yeah.
We were going to talk about that, and I didn't even put that in there, but we got so much to talk about, guys. Yeah. It's just unbelievable.
Maybe a little longer than expected.
Yeah. So
we got more news now.
Yeah. Hawk ear. Stan says hawk ear. Hawk ear.
Hawk ear.
But that, yeah, we could talk about, this was supposed to come out. Yeah, I mentioned it earlier. But yeah, the Tomorrow War, we told everybody to go see the Tomorrow War.
Yeah,
it's on, it's on Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime, yes.
Yep.
Right. It's one of their movies. And
it is.
Really good.
And it has the guy from Jurassic Park.
Yep.
Chris Pratt.
Chris Pratt, yes.
Yeah.
Plays a great role in that movie.
Oh, yeah.
He's so awesome.
Yeah.
In that movie. I'm not saying he's awesome in the other ones, but he's awesome in this movie here.
Yeah, so let's talk briefly about
okay, in this one here, Tomorrow War is in the future. When they come back, they're losing the war in the future. So they come back to the present, which is today, or actually 2022. They come back and they get volunteers.
Yeah, the Tomorrow War was really an intense movie.
Yes.
Non-stop action, guys. Literally never stopped.
Yep. So it was really that good. But they come back to 2022, they got volunteers, and a lot of them are
well, before we get into that, let's talk about, let's give it the rating, the official All for Sci-Fi rating for the Tomorrow War. You guys, some people might not like me because of this, because I'm going to give it a higher rating than Black Widow. But the Tomorrow War, I'm going to give 4, not much more, but a little bit more. The Tomorrow War is going to get 4.7 stars. What do you give it?
I'll give it the same.
The same?
Yeah, I'll give it the same.
So you think it wasn't as good as Black Widow then?
No, I don't think so.
So we disagree on that.
We disagree on that part, but it is good. I mean, the action, they had a lot of action in this movie, which I love. I wouldn't mind watching this one again.
Stan asked about the Tomorrow War. He says, is it on Netflix or somewhere else? Haven't watched yet. Stan, the Tomorrow War is on Amazon Prime.
If you have Amazon Prime, you go there and get it.
Right.
It's really a good movie. There's a lot of action in it. Chris Pratt plays a great job.
Yeah, it has Chris Pratt. It has Yvonne Strahovski, Betty Glipton, Shishelle Gabriel, J.K. Simmons is in it.
J.K. Simmons is in it. He was in the original Spider-Man, by the way.
Right. Mike Mitchell, Keith Powers. But basically what happens in the Tomorrow War is everybody's sitting around watching like the soccer, the World Cup or whatever the soccer game is playing. Yeah. And he's watching it with Chris Pratt's who plays the part of Forrester. Right. He's watching it with his daughter, and it's her birthday. Right. And right in the middle of the soccer match, everything starts shaking, and you see like this time vortex open, and these people come and land on the middle of the soccer field, and they start speaking to everybody and telling everybody that they're from the future. Yep. They're from 28 years into the future, and they came back in time to get help from the people in the past, because if they don't, then in the future, the whole world's going to end. Right. Because aliens have evaded Earth, and they need people to come and fight in the war, in a future war. Yep. That's why it's called the Tomorrow War, because they got to go into the future. So right, and they start taking like thousands of people, and they later we found out why what they're doing is they're taking people that they find out were dead later at in the future, so that you don't run into yourself. Yeah. So that's what the old trick is about it.
Basic moms and dads who are already
people that are older, not anybody young. They're tend to be over 40, and they all go into the future. And it's really an intense movie. The action is nonstop. Someone told me it was like a combination of a bunch of different movies, like all drawn up into one. Right. Even the aliens, they're like these. They're like very ferocious, like dogs, but they have tails and they jump, and it's just it's really an intense.
Sharp claws.
Yes.
Rip you apart. Like that,
It's you need to check it out, Stan. It's but it's really intense. I don't recommend younger viewers, anybody under 12, watch this movie.
Yeah, because it's not for them.
Yeah, it's very intense.
It'd be too scary for some kids.
Younger kids, I definitely wouldn't have younger kids watch it. I'm surprised you thought Black Widow was better.
I do.
Okay. We disagree.
What?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we own everything up.
Yeah. So basically, these time travelers, they stun the world when they arrive. Deliver this urgent message that in 30 years the world's going to end if they don't get help. In the midst of doing all this, Chris Pratt's character ends up getting enlisted. He goes to the future. He starts fighting. That's the other thing. When they're enlisted, they only do the time jump for like 7 days. So their tour of duty is only a week, and then they automatically go back into the past. Yeah. Very great concept.
Oh yeah,
it's a really cool concept. So they go back, so eventually what happens is he ends up running into his daughter, who is like in charge of everything. 30 years later, he does end up running into the daughter. He is already dead. So the daughter is saying, I watched you die, because that's it. They only take people that are dead. But his daughter became like in charge of everything. She was really smart. She's running the effort to try to save everything. So he ends up learning a lot about his past and how he left the family, he divorced her mother, how he died, yada, yada, yada. So eventually, right at the end, he ends up, she comes up with a way to kill these aliens. Yep. She'd come up with this way to kill them, but they wouldn't kill the females who are queens. And apparently this species, this alien species, the way it procreates really fast is going to take over the world. So, but they weren't able to kill the queens, the female version of the species. So, in the end, he helps his daughter develop, and she develops it to where it will kill him. So she says the only way to make it work is I want you to promise me you'll take it back in the past with you, and you're going to win this war in the past, because we don't have enough time to win it now in the future.
Right.
So then none of this will ever happen. So he agrees, and he ends up taking the antidote or the whatever the thing is that could kill them with him back into the past. But when he gets back there, he's trying to explain all this, and they're not listening to him. And eventually, they find out where they're at, and apparently they discovered that they were really there the whole time. That this alien race came to the planet Earth millions of years ago before the last ice age, and they were frozen in Antarctica this entire time. And the reason why, because of global warming and the ice melt, they ended up thawing out. And that's how they didn't really come and invade. They were here the whole time, which is another great idea. It's really well written, this Tomorrow War. Whoever wrote it, you're a brilliant writer. You deserve as much credit as you can.
Oh yeah.
Let me see who wrote it.
Definitely.
The writing was just unbelievable on this. So they find out where they're at, where the ship's at. They ended up. No, it's in. Was it in Antarctica or Greenland?
No, it's in Antarctica.
Okay. So they go up there, and they end up getting into the ship, and they're gonna go. They start to use it. They find them, and they start sticking them. And as they do that, there's too many of them, so other ones start waking up. And they ended up. One of them ends up escaping, actually.
Yeah. But they killed the majority of them, except for that one. They died. They blew up the spaceship, burned everything up in there, along with the two that were.
Okay, the writer's name is Zach Dean. Is the writer?
Cool.
Zach Dean. Let's see what else he's written. He wrote the Suicide Squad. He wrote Venom. He wrote Shang-Chi as well. Wow.
Okay, wow.
So he's a prolific writer.
Mm-hmm.
So Zach Dean, he's a writer and a producer. So yeah. So
Cool.
Stan, if you got the Amazon Prime, definitely check it out.
Definitely check it out. Yeah.
So in the end, they end up they have one last little fight with this queen, and they end up. He gets his other father, who is estranged from him, ends up coming and helping, and they end up fighting, and they end up killing the last queen, and so they prevent the Tomorrow War from ever happening.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the Tomorrow War. Let's go on to what other shows we love, which are Loki, yes, and the Bad Batch. Woohoo!
No, that's Rebel.
Oh, you mean Rebels?
Yeah,
Star Wars Rebels, not the Bad Batch?
Yeah.
We're going to tell you why in a minute here.
Yeah, no kidding.
But let's talk about Loki, because we're only 1 week away from
the final.
Yeah.
We're
only 1 week away.
So sad.
It is. It is sad. So
it's such a great TV show. And it put a lot of great effort inside in this show.
Yeah, I'm Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Nobody should ever play.
No, play that guy.
Yeah.
He does a good character.
Right.
In as Loki.
He does.
The god of mischief.
Mm-hmm. So this last one aired on Wednesday, because they air on every Wednesday.
That's right.
And it's episode 6, and basically in the last episode, all hell broke loose. Before we do that, let's go ahead and give the official rating. At all for sci-fi, we have a 0 to 5 rating system. 5 stars being the best, 3 stars, don't do it. Yep. This episode of Loki, I almost gave it 5 stars again. Almost. I only want to give 5 stars out to very special episodes. And the last episode got a 5 stars, but this episode's going to get 4.75 stars from me. What do you give it?
Give a little better than that, but I'll agree with you on that one.
You don't want to give it 5, do you?
No, I was going to give it a 4.95, but I figured,
wow,
4.75 is good. I'll agree with you on that one. I do believe it's a little bit better than what you should have gave it, but I'll agree with you on this one.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely. I didn't want to quite give it a 5 stars, but I think that it definitely is.
It wasn't 5 stars for you, not like.
But it was close. But
like the last series or the last one we saw.
But this one was pretty good because they're in like the purgatory type thing, and basically we find out where you go after you get pruned.
Yeah, he definitely got pruned, all right.
So Yes.
And then she prunes herself.
Yeah, she does too as well. So
To go help him because she wants to be with him.
right.
There's
So
love in the air in this one.
there is. So basically, episode 5 of Loki. The name of it's Journey into Mystery.
Yep.
And it is a mystery because they're in this void type area, and we pick up with the main Loki, and he's surrounded by other Lokis, including one that has a horn, one that's a Loki that's a child,
right,
and another Loki that's an alligator,
yeah,
which is crazy.
Which is funny.
So, yeah.
And you got two of them bragging about what they did,
Right.
which is funny.
Well, Stan didn't like it. Stan said he couldn't get into this week's Loki at all. It was too far over the top for him. He gives it 3 stars here.
Okay.
Well, 3 stars. It's okay, Stan. It's okay to have your own opinion, and we want you to give your opinion here because that's what we're all about at All for Sci-Fi. Even though it's not popular, go ahead and give it.
Yeah, you can give it if you want. It's your opinion.
I don't think it was by far the best episode.
No. It wasn't. It wasn't the worst episode either. So.
And maybe it was. All these episodes are pretty high rated. It's pretty close.
They are.
I like the effects. I like how they traveled. I like some of the jokes involved. You're right. It was over the top with the Loki's thing.
Yeah.
The alligator thing. Maybe that was too over the top.
That was a little too much there. But I like when he saw himself as the head of this group, and they all turned on him. That was good. Yeah, I mean, it. Yeah, and I like the fact that it's kind of weird, and it's kind of how the 2 Lokis could fall in love with each other. They're so narcissistic, and it is narcissistic and weird. It is kind of. But then again, they're not really. There's only really one Loki.
And one's a female, one's a male.
One's male, but yeah, hey.
And after all, you do love yourself, don't you?
That's right. And you're not brother and sister. So, okay.
No, but you're the same person, which is weirder.
Yeah, it's even weirder,
yeah. Yeah. Oh, boy. Where are we going, Marvel, with this? So, yeah.
Well, no, next episode.
So, in this episode, they.
But the thing is, they can't admit it to each other. They love each other.
No, they cannot.
No, they can see eye to eye. They can see everything else. What was really funny, though, is they held hands at the end.
Yeah. So basically, in this episode, we were there with the Loki. Other Loki's telling him, you better go before you get eaten. Mm-hmm. They go back to where they're hiding from this. I forgot the name of it, but it's some creature that is taking care of everything in the void.
Yeah.
And doesn't. It's so he's there, so you can't get out of the void.
Mm-hmm.
And
kind of like a dog in the mist.
Yeah, it is kind of like a dog in the mist.
So probably a hellhound.
Right. Yeah. So basically, now that they're there, they go there, and as they're talking, we come back to the time authority, and they're there with Sylvie's there with the other. I forgot the name of the lady that plays the head honcho. I know Mobius got pruned, so he does show up as well in the void later.
Later on, yeah.
But Sylvie ends up getting trapped, so she ends up, and rather than get caught by them, she, like you mentioned earlier, she prunes herself, so she goes to the void too.
Well, the reason why she pruned herself is because the girl asked her, "Where would you like to be?"
Right.
And so she says, "Where Loki's at." So she pruned herself and she went to Loki.
Yeah, I didn't catch that.
I did catch that.
Wow. Okay.
So I figured, it's going to be a love story now, huh?
I guess Stan says they're calling it Smoke Monster.
Well, I call it Smoke Monster, but it still looks like a hellhound, though.
It does look like a dog. You're right.
Like a dog.
Yeah, you're right.
Because they're invisible and you can't see them, and they're definitely tear you apart.
So when Sylvie gets there, she gets picked up by Mobius.
Mobius, yeah.
By Owen Wilson, who's beeping a horn. So he saves her.
As she was running away
from the smoke monster.
Yeah.
And she decides that she thinks she could enchant the smoke monster.
Yeah.
So they come up with a plan where they're going to enchant them. But the rest of them aren't going to help them. They take them to the smoke monster. Then they bid their goodbyes. Yeah. And then it's left with the main Loki and Sylvie. Mm-hmm. to try to enchant that so they could see what's beyond the void.
Yeah.
Okay, so while they're doing that, though, they're losing it and it's not working. So that other older Loki who had lived almost a normal life and everything had more power than all of them.
Oh yeah.
His power, he
was
ended up
very powerful.
He ended up saving the day and using this enchanting stuff to create all these cities and mess with the smoke monster to the point until Sylvie was able to finally enchant the smoke monster. It finally worked.
Yeah, finally got her power up, so she could actually chant that.
It finally worked at the end, and that's how the show ended. They were going to go past the void to see what's past that. So, guys, one more week of Loki.
Well, they're still looking. They're still looking for the timekeepers. So they think the timekeepers are in that.
Well, that's right. They think the timekeepers are there beyond the void.
Right.
That whatever the real thing is beyond that. Whoever's running the entire show is there.
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting. They got 1 week.
Well, no, they got one. That is 16 episodes.
No, that's not. This is only 6. You're thinking about Bad Batch, which we're going to talk about in a second. The Rebel show.
Yeah.
So 1 more week, guys. So next Wednesday is the finale. So we'll be talking about that next week.
We'll see what they leave as a opener for the second season.
That's right. Okay, let's talk about the Bad Batch. So we'll end up the show. Sorry, guys, this is taking a long time, but we have. Isn't it great how many shows we guys got every week? Yeah. So the Bad Batch, the latest episode. What episode was it, Captain Rickster? We're well into the teens now, right?
Oh yeah, we're episode 10 or 11, I think.
Right
now. In this one here.
I think it was episode 11.
Yeah, because we don't have very many episodes left. There's only 16.
There's 16 episodes.
Yeah, so like 5, maybe 6 to 5 left.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
5 or 6 more weeks.
Right. So yeah, episode 11 was the one we just watched. Yep. Episode 11 is called Devil's Deal.
Yep. So there's 5 more
episodes left. And again, let's go ahead and give the official rating at first. So let's see what Stan had to say first. So who would enchant whom? Sylvie from Loki or Dreykov from Black Widow? That's a good question.
That's a good question. Loki cannot be enchanted.
Yeah.
But
well, I think Sylvie definitely. I don't think Dreykov. Because his thing is the pheromone thing, and that's a funny joke anyway. I get it, Stan, but Sylvie is who would do it. In my mind, either way. So this latest episode of the Bad Batch, or what we like to say this week, Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah.
Guys, I loved it. Guys, don't take this the wrong way. I love the episode. I love Star Wars, as you can tell, right?
Behind us.
And the clan. I'm part of the clan of 2, right?
Sorry, I like Loki, so I got the Wolverine shirt on.
Okay. I'm all Star Wars. That's my favorite, guys. And it was amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
I was excited at what was happening, but I didn't feel like I was watching the Bad Batch. Don't take this the wrong way. I felt like I was watching Star Wars Rebels, because it was great to see. It's great to see Hera as Hera Syndulla as a young girl. It's great to see the Syndullas and be on a Twi'lek's home world. All that was great.
Yep.
But as the episode went on, I kept saying, did I turn on the wrong Star Wars?
Yeah, I know how. There was no Bad Batch.
Because there was no Bad Batch in it. This is called the Bad Batch. Where's the Bad Batch?
Yeah.
And then finally they showed up for, what, a minute? Out of the 30-minute episode, they were there a minute. Mm-hmm. Don't get me wrong. It was amazing.
Don't count Captain Rex and
don't count the Syndullas off. Don't count anything. And I think they're setting up the next arc. So, but you got to have the Bad Batch in it more than 1 minute, guys.
Yeah, really.
Let's go ahead and give the official rating. It's still going to get a decent rating because I loved it still. At All for Sci-Fi, it's 0 to 5 stars. 3 stars, no. 5 stars, the best. The Bad Batch Devil's Deal, I'm going to give it. You guys might hate me, but I'm only doing this because I think that these guys need to keep on track better. It's going to get over 4, but I'm only going to give it 4 1/4, and I'm knocking it down because I felt like I was watching another show. So 4 1/4 stars.
I'll agree with you on that one too. So I thought I was watching another show. I really do. I thought I was watching Star Wars.
And again, I'm not complaining about it. I loved it. So 4 1/4 stars. You agree? Wow,
I agree
Captain
with
Rickster's
that one.
agreeing with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't what I expected.
And you know what,
So
Stan? I would give it 4.9 stars if it was called Star Wars Rebels.
right. No,
So
not Bad Batch.
yeah, that was my only problem. But oh my God, it was firing all cylinders, wasn't it?
It was. It definitely fired.
It was great. I love it. I felt like I was watching old Star Wars stuff.
Mhm.
The twist, the evil empire, that other person behind the strings that's pulling the strings this whole time.
Little Palpatine.
And it was a great crossover. And you know what, Darth? I agree. The episode of The Bad Batch was the ultimate crossover with all Star Wars animation. I agree with you. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I reserve the right, and I do that from time to time. I will change my rating. I'm not going to give it 4 1/4 stars. I'm going to give it another 1/4 stars. So 4.5 stars. Again, I got to knock it down a little bit as a reviewer because it's sending mixed messages.
Yeah.
But again, let's talk about the episode and get off of this. So 4.5 stars is now. I've changed mine. Do you change yours? So we'll give it 4.5 because it really deserves it.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, enough about that. Let's talk about how great this episode was.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
It has some great- it has
goodness.
some great new-
Chopper's back.
Yeah, Chopper did some great characters were in this one. Yeah.
Chopper's back.
Uh-huh.
Hera's back. We get to see Hera as a little girl. Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Wow, was that great?
It was great. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen that episode, but yeah, it was great to have him in there.
Yes. We get to see about now he needs to find an eraser, he said. Thank you, Stan. Yeah. Eraser. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, but it's definitely, oh my goodness. So we end up going to the planet. The evil empire is still setting up their empire, of course.
Trying to.
And they're still pulling the strings with senators like they did in the week before.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
another senators. It's another world. And they have the senator speak, and then Sundella speaks. The head of the Sundella clan speaks, and he kind of calms them down. But the uncle and some of the other people, they're worried about this. And they should be, because something's wrong here.
Oh, always something
Giving
wrong.
up all your weapons. Why? Lay down all your weapons?
Yeah.
And why are you so suspicious about this, not letting anybody go to this plant? What's going on here?
Yeah, what are
So
you
all
producing?
mixed
What are you
signals,
producing?
right?
They're
but-
producing something there.
Right. So, the uncle has Hera and Chopper go check that out. Then they get caught. Then they get let go. Then she goes on a mission to get arms. That's when we do get to see the Bad Batch.
Yep. That's the
Because
only time we saw it.
because he's trying to get the underground like rebels. He's
Yep.
trying to get them supplied so they have guns just in case.
Mhm.
That uncle's thinking, and Hera, who is a great pilot.
Oh yeah.
We get to see where she got that from, and she got how her uncle was teaching her.
Mhm.
So, and just even old stuff like that speeder the speeder that they were
Yeah.
driving, Chopper was driving, reminded me of from Star Wars: A New Hope,
Yep.
Luke's speeder.
Mhm. Yep.
Well,
even the speeder bikes the guys were running were like old ones. They weren't anything new.
yeah, like from
Mhm.
Return of the Jedi,
Yeah,
those
that's
speeders
what I
from
remember,
Endor. Yeah.
Endor, yeah.
So there were lots of great things all the way. Oh, it was not only the reason why it was the ultimate Star Wars crossover was because they had blurgs in it.
Blurgs were in
So
it,
they
yeah.
took blurgs from the
So the
Ewok
Ewoks,
movies again.
Uh-huh.
They were in it because they're riding blurgs.
Yep.
Where's the blurg at? It's over there
It's back here
somewhere.
somewhere. Hiding as usual.
Yeah. I have a bunch of them.
Yeah, it's got quite a
But
few
yeah,
of them. That's one right there. No, that's not one.
No, that's a Bantha,
That's a Bantha,
but
yeah.
it's like that. It's over there
Yeah,
behind
there's
us.
somewhere. He's hiding.
Is he hiding? Oh, there he is. He's over there on
Oh, yeah,
Mando.
Mando, yeah.
They had blurgs on it, which are great.
Yeah, that was cool. Seeing those things. I have to think about, oh, hey, they're copying somebody again.
Not copying. It's their right to do it. It's their universe.
It's all part of Star Wars universe.
But you're right. It was absolutely this actual episode, and thank you, Darth, for pointing that out.
Yeah.
This episode definitely was. This episode definitely was the ultimate crossover because it even had elements of the Ewok movies in it.
A lot of.
There you go. So yeah, it was. It really was. It just it had everything in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the old. I didn't even think about that.
All old school.
All the old school wipes. How the wipe from screen. It really was a tribute to all the past stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was.
I agree. Wow, I didn't even think about that, Stan. Yeah. Darth says he enjoyed seeing the Blurgs as well. They've been in the media so much. They need vintage collection. They do need vintage collection. Why not bring the Blurgs with the Marauders from that ride them in Ewoks? Let's get the Blurgs on a Marauder on a Blurg, like in the movie. Or the Blurgs were carrying all the Ewoks in the thing behind it. Remember, they trapped them and kidnapped them and put them in the little thing in the back that the Blurgs were carrying, the little wagon.
Yeah.
A Blurg in a wagon with Ewoks in it. That's another action figure.
Cool, yeah.
A Blurg with a Marauder on it. Also, let's have Mace Tawani. Let's have Cinder Tawani. Let's have Teak. Let's have Noah. Come on. What's going on? Come on, Hasbro and Kenner. Get on it.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, you definitely have a lot of stuff to come from the Ewok movies. And I'm grateful. Thank you very much, Dave Filoni. Thank you very much, Dave Filoni, for showing us some love again. I appreciate that.
A lot of love.
Yeah. Thank you too, Stan. As soon as you saw the Blurgs, I said Eric would love this. I did. And it was. And I was excited. I go, wow, I saw them again. And then I saw them again later when they were riding them still, which is cool. Okay. So yeah, this was a great episode, guys. I just was a little upset. I like the Bad Batch. I like all those guys. I love Tech, Echo, Wrecker. I love all those characters so much. When they were in it such a small amount, it kind of I wanted to see it more. So,
but the problem is that they weren't in it long enough.
That was my only gripe. That's the only gripe. I want to see these characters that D. Bradley Baker plays every single one. He's such a great voice talent.
Oh yeah.
So okay, so yeah, so basically when they come back, of course, Crosshair is in the midst of all this.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the mix. And
he maybe a Bad Batch, but he's not with the Bad Batch.
He's not. He's fully on that chip is got him going still. I think, and you could tell me if you agree, Captain Rickster. I think that by the end of this season, the Bad Batch is going to somehow trap and capture Crosshair and get that chip out of him, and he's going to come back to them.
I believe that they will. Yeah.
By the end of the season, in the last episode, we're going to have Crosshair to rejoin the Bad Batch. That's my prediction.
Yep.
So
I can't wait to see after that to see season 2.
Yep. And I think Fennec Shan is going to come back and help Omega and help all of them somehow.
Right. Yeah.
More so on a helping thing. So, yep. Hey, Dave Staggs just joined us. Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave. How you doing?
Hey, we were just talking, Dave, about how the Blurgs were in. We're talking about the Bad Batch and how the Blurgs were in it as well in the latest episode. So. Yeah, so at the end of the episode, Crosshairs was tagging the Uncle's ship. So when they came back, they captured them, seized the arms, and now they're caught. So now Hera's caught. So her dad and mom have to rescue her and change sides. So at the end, they end up coming in there and rescuing Hera and Chopper. But they get captured. Yeah. But the mother says, take Hera, Chopper, and run. So what's going to happen next, guys? It was left on a cliffhanger. So we'll see what happens, next week's episode. That's what they were setting up. So I think what's going to happen is I think that Sid's going to send the Bad Batch on a mission to rescue the parents and help Hera.
Because Omega likes Hera.
Yes, and that they had a quick. Really great scene. Omega and Hera had a great scene with each other where she showed Hera their ship.
And her bedroom.
Right.
Which is cool.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And Stan weighed in on D. Bradley Baker. He says he does a voice in Monsters. I didn't know that.
Oh, really?
That's good. Yeah. So Darth says the most disturbing part of the episode was the assassination of Senator Orrin Felata. It shows how ruthless and why a rebellion. Yes.
That is true.
Yes, that's right. It
Yes, it
showed
was.
how ruthless that colonel or general or whoever he was. He assassinated him.
Mm-hmm.
That you're right. Good point. And that's why it got set up. And it's kind of great that we're getting to, even if it's cartoons, we're getting to see all this backstory about how all this stuff came about.
Well, how the Empire and then the rebels all came in.
How
worked
rebels
out.
became rebels, and then
It all worked out.
and Dave Filoni, you're doing a great job filling in the gaps. You're probably using the Lucasfilm Story Group and all of them, like Pablo and all those. You're having those people help you.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely are George Lucas's Padawan. You're doing a great job, Dave. I would love to do voices maybe someday while you're still doing these. So if you ever run across All for Sci-Fi or see me or whatever, I'd love to do some voices on any of these shows, on the cartoons for sure.
It's too bad they couldn't put the Bad Batch in the Rebels with the Rebels.
They might have some. They might do.
And
Well, they ended the
Star
Rebels.
Wars.
They ended it, but the timelines are all close anyway.
I know,
so
they are really close.
that's why they were able to put Hera as a little girl, because Rebels takes place later when she's an adult.
Yeah, when she's more of an adult.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, and that's basically it. That's it for the Bad Batch. That's episode 11. Next week is episode 12.
Yep.
Episode 12 is, hey, you know what? Spoiler alert. Episode 12 is Rescue on Ryloth.
Oh,
So, yes,
there we go.
The Bad Batch is going to show up
Uh-huh.
and rescue, help Hera and rescue the Parents Watch.
Mhm,
I
you
just
are.
said that,
Yes.
and then I'm looking down and I see episode 12 is called Rescue on Ryloth. So we
Yep.
know what Sid's going to do and how that's going to happen.
Mhm.
So,
Yep.
yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Before we go, let's talk about this week's gift. Here, this is this week's gift. It is from Star Wars Rogue One. This is one of my favorite action figures.
Yep.
Because I love Stormtroopers, of course, but I like that they have all these extra accessories, including the arm pads and everything like that. So,
Oh, remember also, we'll be in Disneyland on July 23rd.
oh yeah, Friday, July
Friday,
23rd, which is 2 weeks from now.
2 weeks from now, yeah.
We'll be at Disneyland. And also, don't forget, my album Take You Higher is released next week on Friday.
Friday the 13th.
No, Friday,
Friday.
today's the 9th. So next week is July 16th.
16th, right.
So let's go ahead and ask the question before we end the show for this week's prize. Captain Rich is going to hold it for a second here.
Yep.
And I'm actually prepared. I actually have stuff to write down with already.
Oh, amazing.
So, earlier in the show, you had to have been watching the show to get this. So if people showed up late, they may not get the answer. We were talking about the rumor mill, about what's going on in sci-fi television.
Yep.
And it's related to Star Trek. That's the only clue I'll give you. But we said a very famous character that we all love is going to get his own series probably.
Yep.
What is the name of that character, and what is the rumor mill that the new series, the new Star Trek series, what's the name of that character? You guys got 1 minute. Here we go. It's an easy. The answer was there, guys, already.
We have to play back a little bit to find it.
No, they're not going to have. They'll run out of time. So
That's
you guys,
true.
guys got 30 more seconds.
You bring your scissors, did you?
No, I got it. I'm on top of it this week for a change.
Minus the scissors, you're okay.
I don't need scissors because I want to make them all the same size and I'll make it easy.
Well, you still do them on the same side.
No. I got to do things my way, brother.
Well, that's definitely true. You do.
Yeah. And some of you that might join us late may not have the answer,
Mm-hmm.
but that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let's give 5 more seconds. Okay, we are now closing it. So if you haven't said the answer, it is now closed. The correct answer for this this stormtrooper from Rogue One is the person getting their own Star Trek series from the original Star Trek, not the original Star Trek, but from Star Trek: The Next Generation is Worf. Lieutenant Worf is rumored to be getting his own series on his own Star Trek series streaming on CBS Media. Let's see who got the answers correctly. Actually, a few of us did get it. Jim got it. Congratulations, Jim. And Stan got it as well. Different spellings, but you both got the correct answer. So 2 of you got it correctly. So Captain Rickster, we need to see who. May the force be with you, Jim. May the force be with you, Stan.
Yep.
Here we go. Go ahead. And this week's winner of the prize from Star Wars Rogue One is dun dun dun. If you guys could see it, but it's Stan. Congratulations, Stan. You've won. Woohoo! Stan won the Stormtrooper from Rogue One. Stan, we'll go ahead and mail this out to you next week. Or you have the option to let us give this away as a free gift to a child that needs toys. So you let us know if you want us to re-gift it or you want it. You might need it for your collection. It's pretty cool. So,
or if you got kids of your own.
Or if you got kids as well, you could give this to. Or needy kids in the area as well, you could give it away as well. Oh, you've won it? Oh, he's won it already, so donate it. Okay, we'll definitely donate it. So that'll make a kid very happy. Yes. So you also have the option, if anybody here know each other, sometimes you guys decide to gift it to someone else as well. So if you guys know anybody that's joined us as well and your friends, you could also give it away to someone else on the podcast as well. Some people doing that. And that's why I love our community, because you guys give to each other.
That's true.
And that's why I love All for Sci-Fi, and I love Star Wars, and I love anything to do with sci-fi, because we're all, it's not that, we're just all a great community at All for Sci-Fi.
Oh, I did hear they're doing Jurassic Park 5.
Oh, really?
Yes. And Chris, only so far I know is Chris Pratt's in it.
Of course he's going to be in it.
He's been in it. And it's going to be coming out next year. I think sometime in the early summer of next year.
Right. Okay.
They're filming it now, in fact.
Cool. All right. Well, that's it for this week. Sorry, guys. It did last over an hour and 15 minutes. As we always say at All for Sci-Fi, please do one act of kindness, because just one act of kindness sometimes spreads to another person, and it spreads around the world, and it makes the world a better place. As always, I'm Eric Walker.
I'm Captain Rickster.
May the force be with you. Live long and prosper, and may God bless you as always.
Yes. Make sure if you know people who are not vaccinated yet, please get them vaccinated. That way we'll live a little bit longer.
Yes.
But who knows?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, everybody have a great week.
Yes.
Have a great weekend.
Uh-huh.
And we'll see you next Saturday.
Next Saturday, guys. Yep. We got another fun-filled show. And
yes.
I agree with you, Jim. Jim, I love the community that we're building here at All for Sci-Fi. So remember, everybody, share All for Sci-Fi on your Facebook and all your social media pages so that we can help spread this out and get more people involved as well in the community.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys so much. Take care. We'll see you next week. And have a great week, everybody.
Bye-bye now.
Stay safe.